Hello Mzansi and welcome to Art Mzansi. As King Misizulu slowly starts to assert his authority as the ruler of the Zulu nation and ponders on critical appointments, he has been warned not to take decisions that are against historical hierarchy. In one warning, Prince Mangosuthu, the traditional prime minister of the monarch and the nation, warned the 47-year-old king not to create a new position of deputy traditional prime minister. In a letter he wrote to the king, Prince Mangosuthu said he heard long time ago that Prince Mthokozisi had been earmarked for the position. In a statement he said, "Your Majesty, I've no problem with you appointing anyone you deem to be fit for the position. I heard a long time ago that Prince Mthokozisi will be installed as traditional prime minister and I have no issues with that." Furthermore, he stated categorically that he had no qualms since the position is not hereditary to the Buthelezi clan. He also said that it was true that even the late king did not appoint him to the position. Instead, he was appointed by the late King Cyprian in 1954. Since then, he has held that position and he would often ask the late king to appoint his own traditional prime minister, but all that fell on deaf ears and he was continuously given royal duties to execute. The traditional prime minister's role is a critical one. Among its roles is being empowered to call royal meetings and mediate disputes within the royal court. Prince Buthelezi wants the king to refrain from creating a position that has never been there in the 206-year history of the Zulu nation. He supported his assertion by clawing back the historical archives of the nation and its past traditional prime ministers. Apparently, his concern stems from a private conversation the king had with Prince Buthelezi's son that he wanted to create the position. In a statement he said, "When you told my son that you want to appoint a deputy prime minister, that there is something amiss. That position has never been there, and I have shown when counting all former prime ministers of the Zulu monarch. Instead of doing what has never been done in history by appointing a deputy prime minister, I would advise for you to simply appoint a prime minister." It is understood that King Misizulu wants to create the position and give it to Mahlobo, one of his cousins, for his son, to Prince Nozipho. Mahlobo would take over from Buthelezi when he retires or something happens to him. Buthelezi's spokesperson said the letter was meant for the king and they're not willing to talk about it. King Misizulu's spokesperson, Prince Tulani Zulu, when asked when the ruler intends to appoint his new prime minister, he said there's no hurry as there's no vacancy. In a statement he said, "You can only appoint if there's a vacancy. Right now there's no vacancy and I think the king is happy with the work of the prince."